Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So I made this flyer, actually chart flyer, and it has been trending. Not just so much that it's so nice or stuff, but it's just the fact that I actually made it produced it using Photoshop. So some of my friends have been in doubt about how I produced it, so I'm making this video to share my ideas on how I just made it. So sit up tight, we can be right back. So we're back on Photoshop, and I'll be creating a new document. So for this very project, I'll be using an international paper, A3 size. Make sure you check for pixels for for a higher resolution quality, and I'll be changing the orientation of the paper. So I'll be doing this manually. I'll be copying the height. I just highlighted and copied the height, placing the size of the width on the height, and pasting the size of the height on the width. Yeah, we got that. Okay, so you'll be having the document just as this one on my screen right now. So having done that, we'll be creating the background of this very project. So I just went to the shape button, the shape icon. You can actually do this automatically by hitting the U button, and I'll drag through and create a shape. Here on Control and T on the very layer, and then press the Control button and just hold on it to drag through, just as I'm doing right now. So I think this is good. Okay. You can see I am changing the colors right now. I'm doing it through this way. You can actually do this through that way by double clicking on the layer of the shape and going to the blending options, color overlay, to adjust the colors of the objects. So I am going to be going to the fill on the shape tool and choosing a color that I feel will be more appropriate for this project. So this is actually the first background layer. So I'll be creating another one. I just hit on Ctrl and J to duplicate the layers. So I'll be going on the layer below, Ctrl and T, and dragging it upwards and downwards, changing the color. So we're placing an image which I'm going to be using to blend into the background. So I'll be changing the blending options to darken, and I'll be clip masking it to the shape layer. Well, we're using this clip mask later on, but for now I'm just going to be leaving it masked there. So I hit on Ctrl and T, and I'm trying to adjust the image. So I just double clicked and release the clip mask. Trying to also choose a much more better color for one of these background layers. So you can follow through the steps that I'm just making right now. So I'm creating another shape. I'm dragging it below, and I'm going to create let's be changing some of these colors. You can see from the layers. So I'm creating a mask layer on the image. So be sure to check your foreground and background colors. Make sure it's on black. Then use the brush tool. You can actually get the brush tool by choosing the brush icon or hitting the B button on your keyboard. Then brush it through just as you want until you're comfortable. Right now I'm going to be renaming this background layer, so this first will be background layer 1. I'm actually rename by double clicking on the name of the layer. So moving 2, and this will be 3. So I'm choosing I'm going on the second layer, background layer. It's not Ctrl and T and holding the Control button to drag through. Now I'm creating a new layer on top of it. I'll be painting some brush strokes. Actually changing the size right now. So I just click mask this layer and reducing the opacity. So right now I'll be creating a test for this project. You can see that I'm using the test, and the test I'm using is area for this one. Using Bacchus expanded for this first team. using Babylon 5 for this second theme, which is actually the main theme. You can see I'm repeating some steps and then placing the tests I will need for this project. You can also check through the test tools upwards to check the tests using their sizes and if it's been bolded or if it's been left at a lighter size. So I'll be adjusting each of these. I'm making this S bigger and hitting on Control and C to drag it through. So I'll be repeating something similar for the second theme, which is actually the main theme of the design work. See what I'm actually doing. So I just grouped them. I didn't just group them. I hold the control button and click on each of the layers that I needed, and I use the Control and C, then hold on the control button to adjust these themes the way I just did. So I will simulate something similar for this test versus. Once I'm done editing their sizes. So adjusting this address. So, like I feel like this address are two joined up to each other, so I'm changing the fonts. Then while I'm on that, I will be highlighting the whole text and then clicking on Ctrl and T to bring out the text options, and you can see what I just did there right now. Okay, so you can see how it is. It's not so joined as it used to, as it was before. So I'll be getting the images I'll be needing for this design project. I'll be dragging through. So I've placed the images, and you can actually see that the images are looking so shouty at the moment. They and not the colors of the images are not actually blending through to the design work. So I will be actually editing that later on this tutorial. So for now, I'm concentrating on the items we're placing around the design. So once I'm done doing that, I'll now re-edit and blending these images so that their colors will be blended into the colors of the design. So I'm creating a shape here right now, putting on the filter white, removing out the stroke. It has no stroke, so we're moving out the stroke. So I'm creating the shape to be able to put in the date and the time of the event. So what I'm going to be doing right now, also I will be duplicating. I just hit on Ctrl and J to duplicate. So I moved the field and added, I gave this one a stroke. So clicking on them both to drag through. I clicked on them both. I hold the control button, click both of them. I hit Ctrl and T, and then we adjusted just as I wanted. So I'll be placing tests into them right now. Can see how I'm actually placing in the tests. So I just duplicated the other test there, using it to create the time. So I'm changing the color. Dragging through the first shape I created to give more space for the time which we are going to replace it in. So I'll be placing some social media addresses on below these dates and time we just created. So I'm talking about Facebook addresses, Twitter, Instagram, and I think also I'll be adding a YouTube address to it as well. So I'm placing the social media icons in each and every one of them. So I already have my images for all of that. See the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, and shortly afterwards I'll be placing the YouTube as well. You can see where I used it now. I used the magic erase to take out this part of the YouTube icon that has more white background, but I didn't do this when I was clearing it out the first time, so I'm doing it now. So I'm adding a stroke to it to make it more legible, so it can be much more obvious. Yeah, so now we have it. I think it looks better now. So I'll be going to the grouped team. The team in groups, that's the main team of this design. I'll be changing the name to team and double clicking on it to add some effects on it. So I am adding on a stroke, its color to white. I'm going to the gradients option. You can play around with this till you're satisfied with what you have produced. So I'll be hitting on the gradients, creating points here, changing it to white or something that looks more like white. Okay, and the other one to black. So I'll be moving this, but this is not what I want. So I'll be click that, click it again, drag through, something like that. So here on the stroke, making it to a point of 15. And there we go. So I feel like they are too spacious, so I'll be creating a space between them. So I clicked on the text and I highlighted, then hit on Ctrl and T to bring out the text options and change this value of it to 25. It works. You can see what happens now. It's giving it much more space. Doing the same thing for the other one. So we are adjusting it just as I want. And I'll be going back to the blending options, going and I'm giving it a drop shadow, increasing the distance, the size, and I'm spreading it out, changing the blending option to normal, and I'm giving it this more of ash black color. You can see what we have it now. So you notice effects I'm placing. We're showing you a before and an after, so you can see what I'm about to do. Taking off the effects, you can see before and you can see an after. So when we're resizing it a bit, just hit on Ctrl and C on the layer. We're doing the same thing for the tests. So having done that now, replacing blindfold contact. Okay, I made a little bit of a mistake here. So pressing the test from the top of the layer side. Changing the test to, I think I'm using Arial for this. Like I feel these numbers I'm not comfortable with it. I'll be placing the number I'm much more familiar with. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is good. So yeah, this is also good. So I know the website address as well. Highlighting on the numbers, bolding it and changing its color. For a WhatsApp icon, so placing it down here to the other number, so resizing it a bit. To zoom in or zoom out, you can actually hit on your control and space button and click through to zoom out, and to zoom in you can hit on your alt and space button to bring the zoom down, or you can press on your Z key. You can zoom through that, and while on the Z key you can hit the alt button to change the zoom to the minus size to zoom in. We'll go to right now I'm actually adjusting those images to make them click through. This is a curve adjustment layer. Remember to always click mask those layers on the image you are actually editing, so giving it a color balance, pushing out the redder part of it, and I'm also creating a levels adjustment layer, dragging through the brighter side down. Click masking them both. You can see it before, you can see it after. So I feel comfortable with the levels, so I'm taking it here and adjusting it a little bit. This is making it better. So I'm repeating almost just about the same step on the other image. So just know that this style of adjustment might not suit for every image, but it's just so you can get the idea and use it to adjust any of your images on your design. So I'm creating a new layer on this image right now. You can see just what I just did. So I actually pressed on the B icon to get the brush. You can see how I'm resizing the brush. Make sure you are on a soft pressure brush, and use the alt key to bring out the eyedropper tool to select the color. I selected that from the background, so I'm reducing the opacity after I brushed it through. So I'll be doing the same for the other image. So I'm doing this because I'll be writing on names and that area part of the images, and also it actually gives the design a much more better look. So having done that, place on names on the images. Trying a little bit of a mistake, I'll be clearing that out now. This text I'm not supposed to be creating it here is actually being clip masked to the image, so I'm deleting that and I'm creating the text from up of those layers, so nothing will be affecting it. Yeah, so making the first letters more bigger. Changing the color to white, and I'm done with this. So the last name, I'll be creating an artist layer for the last name. I'll be doing that because there is a style I want to be using to fix the names. You will see how I left it out through when I'm done. So yeah, you can see making the last name a bit bigger than the first name of this this very image. So I'm grouping them together. I'll rename it. Just as I said, you can group objects by hitting on your Ctrl and G just after you've clicked on them by holding your Control button and clicking on each of them. So I'm going to be repeating the same steps for that image. Maybe not so much as the first one, but something similar. You can see from the video the steps I'm following up. Yeah, so having done that, so I'll be placing GRO in the program of events. And I will be repeating the same steps for stroking it to make it much more visible. So I'm repeating the same steps for the other one. I just duplicated the image, sorry, the test. So having done all of this, I'm going to the shape tool, creating down a slim rectangle shape, using it to demarcate the names and the rows of the program. Doing the same for this one, like so. Hitting on the Ctrl and T, and now layer to adjust the size, and yeah, we've had it this way. So we do something similar but a vertical shape right now, changing the color to white, and I'll be rasterizing the layer and changing the opacity to separate the numbers from the web address. And making some little tweak on the names. So you can see from the video what I'm doing right now. And yeah, so far so good. We have been able to produce this flyer, church flyer on Photoshop. So congratulations to us for achieving this anyways. Just as I said, I just made this video to share some of my ideas on graphic designs with Photoshop. You know, so many other persons don't actually based on the fact that you could actually produce design works with you or using Photoshop. So I had to make this video to share some of my ideas, and also hopefully it can be helpful to you in your graphics design career. So if this video has been helpful to you in any way, you can actually hit on the like button, and if you feel there are other designs that you want me to be taking, other video tutorial, maybe you want me to be taking on Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW, you can actually leave a comment on that on the comment section below. If you have other ideas you want to share as well, you can also leave a comment on the comment section below. So far so good. I would like to say thank you so much for watching this video to the end. I do really hope you did enjoy it and it was so helpful to you. So guys, I'll be seeing you on the next one.